All right, we live. What is it? My left hand is better than MJ. Oh yeah, you gonna start the show off with flagrant lies. I see.
Hey, if these youngins can go at the old head, so can I.
Let me turn that volume down. Talk again.
I said, if these youngins can go after the old head, so can I.
Oh, they've been killing us. They've been killing our generation. Let me get all set to go here. Mm, mm, mm. I look too low in the camera. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. There we go. Yep.
There we go.
How you feel? How you feel? How you feel?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I forget how much work goes into. I think I coach high school golf. I just forget how much work goes into that, and I'm just exhausted. You just get exhausted.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
But I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
You got a good squad going for you?
Yeah, man. We should. Last year we finished fifth in state, and we brought back everybody except one. So
Was he a
uh,
big
I
dog?
No, no, no. He was a senior that was. He had just been with the program the entire time, so he was just there. But we had a super young team, so four juniors, three sophomores, and two freshmen. So yeah, we got some talent. We're preseason ranked number 5. So
Okay, okay. Well,
I
good
think
luck on
I
you.
think that
I'm a
I
season.
think that we are. I personally think that we are underranked. I would never tell my team that, but um, you know,
When they
yeah,
finna check, when they finna check us out, they gonna find out, baby. They finna hit. You know what I'm saying? A little confidence in me. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, a little
so
confidence and don't hurt nobody.
yeah, I gotta keep him humble because you remember how you were when you were in high school, man. Like you were invincible, right?
You know what? I actually do not remember how I was when I was in high school. I really don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
I
I
try
thought
to
we were.
ask people without the same as I am now because I don't remember being outspoken in high school. But you tell me, was I outspoken in high school?
Um, we knew when you were in the hallway, that's for sure.
Okay, so I always been loud. Basically, is what you said.
Yeah, I mean, but that was you, that was Clint. You know, it's just that's just how people have big personalities. So
At least I kept it consistent. At least I kept it
yeah,
consistent.
that's the thing, right? Like that's what I care about more. Like you have that circle of friends that like you have from high school. Um, and like they just know like yeah you're literally like the same way you were in high school, right? And
Yeah,
like that's
I'm
that's
good
what I
with
care about. Like that consistency. Like I don't want anybody to ever be like, nah, man, like I don't even remember him being like that.
shit. Speaking of consistency, I said, your boy Jalen Greens and
Oh my
got his
god,
he
he
done got his
consistently,
hands on the epitome of consistency.
god, like of all the people to
Hey
get
man, prime choice right
right,
there, nah.
like how.
Hey man,
I think we discussed this just briefly in one of the earlier shows. How like there's that small circle of women that just bounce around, right?
hey
But
man.
even in the circle of women that bounce around, there's always a one that you're like, you know what, that's that one you just don't. You just
Listen, I don't even care what he doing. I'm just laughing that he actually he done got roasted by Nick Young. Then one of the actors from Power talking about it, like Joe, when you got an actor from Power, when,
just
when
coming
you,
coming through
you
your
got,
head.
I don't watch. I think he on one of the offshoots like Power Generation 8 or some shit. I don't know what the fuck the motherfuckers doing right now.
I've never seen an episode.
I watched the first one. I watched the first Power, the original Power. It was decent. I'm actually I'm hard on TV and movies. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah,
like stuff with bad writing and a lot of holes in the storyline
yeah.
and bad acting. But I initially didn't want to watch Power, but I'm gonna give it a chance. And you know it was a little unrealistic, but fuck it, it was pretty decent. But then once they made 50 a main character,
Yeah,
he got whacked to me. But anyway, long story short, they got like 15 other powers. God damn
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Buddy, one of the characters from there. I'm like, damn, you got these type of motherfuckers roasting you. That's terrible. That's terrible. Hey, good luck. Congratulations.
But what is she? 40? Is she 40?
I don't know. See, like, I think she 30,
She's 39. She's
39 to
39.
22, some shit like that.
She's 39. I'm what? I just.
Good luck. Congratulations.
I guess. I
Amen.
mean,
Amen. Speaking of the Young Bucks, though, they've been on our ass, Joe. I don't know if them clips. I seen them on Instagram, TikTok,
no, they're everywhere, man.
Facebook. They said
Yeah.
at first it
Yeah.
was the 80s, now the 90s
No, yeah,
trash
no,
and
yeah.
the
They're going. Yeah,
2000 trash.
nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Right.
They
But
killing us.
the best thing is I don't know. So what has happened, right? Just to give the people the scope, right? You have these Gen Z, millennials, right, who are just trashing,
Millennials.
right, who are just trashing the current state of basketball by looking back at the old state, 80s, 90s, saying these guys couldn't play now. Like, what are you talking about? They got no left hands. They got, look at these mid-range jumpers that they're bricking and shooting air balls, right? So just clowning on the
They
game,
said
right?
Mike didn't have a left.
Right, right. I'm like literally just throw on the 88 series versus the Celtics.
Mike hit him with the in and out with the left.
Right. I mean, like that was his go-to his first 3-4 years.
Easy.
Right. That was his go-to his first 3-4 years, going in and out, pulling out mid-range or getting all the way to the rim. Right. But so like, yes, you got all these cats who are making these TikToks, making these little clips, trashing the game. But what I love about it the best, this has been I get up every morning, I watch 5 or 6 of these, are the old heads who are trashing the young heads who are going after all of us old heads. Because they're like, Glenn Robinson couldn't play in today's game. Then they show all the clips of like Glenn Robinson just destroying people. Right?
Big dog had moves.
Bro, for 6'10", 260,
He the best college player I've ever seen in my life.
Right. But like, I just, and I think it's one of those generational things where everyone's like, oh, our generation had it harder. Our generation had it harder. And then the older generation's like, oh, this generation has it so easy. I get it. Every generation is going to say that about every other generation. But like, when you're looking at sports, like there's tape that doesn't lie.
Listen, right? It's simple. You can always shit on the people that did it before you because now things have been innovated. So, I mean, it's one thing. Listen. I just want you to be funny. It ain't not funny to me. If it was funny, I'd be with it because I'm always with the jokes. Nobody exempt from the jokes, but they not really cracking jokes. All the ones I've seen just basically yell out trash and he ain't got a left hand and get this garbage out of here, but it ain't really funny. But hey, listen, get your shit off. Because if you want to talk about the 80s, okay, maybe the 80s. Maybe the game was so, you know what I'm saying? So far back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was slow. It was a can you survive the game?
It was a slower game, much rougher game. There was less, but once you got to the 90s and the 2000s, cats. I would say all the stars of the 90s could have played today. Cats are getting busy back then, dog.
Without a doubt.
Cats again, don't say the 80s, okay, whatever. But the 90s and the 2000s, no. Cats are getting busy back then. Cats are getting busy back then.
Yeah. I mean,
I told you what I think the difference is in the gay game. We can move on because we got a bunch of stuff to talk to them about. But it's just simple to me. I told you. I just think that the game back in the day, obviously it's a little rougher, but beyond that, I think the players were just a little more versatile in their skill sets. They didn't really shoot the three as much, so you take that away. The players of today got the threes. The players of today have threes and ball handling.
I think that's what I was going to lead to is that the dribble combo, the triple combos that you have now, they just simply didn't exist in the NBA. No, they existed probably on the street, right? But like it was never brought to the actual game.
Now, there was some great ball handlers like Isaiah Thomas, Jamal Crawford, Tim Hardaway, some great ball handlers. It was still basic, but they were quick and they had some crossover. And I think obviously today's game, far more players can shoot the three efficiently from deep from a deeper range. But after that, I say the players of yesterday were more dynamic because they were 3-level basketball players. There's a lot of them
Right.
that kill shoot the three, but they were great with the mid range, and even your point guards and your shooting guards posted up on the regular. So, like I say, I don't really think the game has no. The players of today are necessarily more skilled. I think they're differently skilled, and we kind of had that conversation. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
For sure.
but one thing that does lead me to talk about real quick is I don't know if I don't think we talked about this before, and check me if we have. But we got to change some of these standards in football, especially with a 17 game season. Okay, so no longer can 1,000 yards be considered an elite year.
I agree with that. I
We,
agree with
we
that.
we we have to do away with that.
I agree with
When
that.
the standard was set, it was it was 1,000 yards in 12 games.
Yeah.
That was 83 yards a game, 83.3, if I'm not mistaken. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was based off a 12-game season. So
83.3. To get that in a 17 game season,
do you need 69 yards, roughly?
that's 1,400 yards.
Yeah.
You need 1,400 yards. So I would say just because just to make an adjustment, a lot of teams don't have. I mean, a lot of teams are two-back teams now. I would
Yes,
say
you're
if
gonna
you want
have
to be
that.
an elite back in a 17 game season, at minimum, I need 1,250. I won't even say 1,300 because a lot of two-back
Well,
systems now.
that's the thing is like so you're talking about a two-back system, and you're talking
I need
about a league
1,300. I need
that
1,300.
is that well, you're talking about a two-back system, and you're talking about a league that is pushing. I shouldn't say pushing. It is leaning towards a more mobile quarterback, right? So like, let's just look at
Mhm.
what the Bears are doing, right? So like those yards now take 15% from each, right? So take 15% and go into your QB if you have a mobile quarterback, and then if you're going to a two-back system, so you're already at 85%. Take 15% from that, and now you're talking about a one back getting 70% of that. That's a lot.
So you saying you feel like most of the running backs nowadays, they're sorry, not running backs. Most of the quarterback nowadays, they're running quarterbacks, not running quarterbacks,
They're
uh,
mobile.
mobile quarterbacks.
You're pushing mobile because of what it does, the stress it puts on the defense, right? Like having the ability to use your legs as weapons. You're looking at Josh Allen, you're looking at Trevor Lawrence, you're looking at obviously Justin Fields.
Okay, so
It,
so this opens up an interesting conversation real quick as a nice sidebar. So what do you where's the line between mobile quarterback and running quarterback?
so, and I understand how people want to delineate. I am a person of the mindset of if you have a weapon, use it. If your legs are a weapon, use them.
Hmm.
Why would I sit here and force a Lamar Jackson to be a pocket passer simply to take away one of his biggest abilities? Right. So, in
Go ahead.
saying that, there are guys who are much more dynamic runners, and there are guys like Patrick Mahomes who are mobile. You would never say Patrick Mahomes is static. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not a I'm trying to think here, like a Sam
Josh Allen.
Darnold. He's not
I mean,
a
a standstill quarterback.
right, yeah. Like he if need be, he will get out and
Pocket
run.
passer.
They've run draws for him. They've run QB, like they put in place for him to use his legs to be a weapon. Right.
So
So
what I was asking you is this though. Where's the line? So I have said, and I don't know if I've said this on this broadcast, so I'll say it now. I'm not a fan of running quarterbacks. Now, what I
right.
mean by running is I'm not talking about mobile quarterbacks.
Yes.
I'm not talking about quarterbacks who have this capability and able to use their legs when necessary, like a Steve Young. Well, by fact, Steve Young is perfect. He's right on the border
I would agree with that. Yeah.
of a mobile quarterback and a running quarterback. But I think once you start getting to consistently above 500 yards, you're like a running quarterback. Josh Allen is on the other side of the border. He is consistently above 500 yards. And I don't believe that running quarterbacks win championships. Mobile quarterbacks do, but not running quarterbacks. If your quarterback is doing 700, 800 yards a year, I don't know a quarterback that consistently runs 700, 800 yards a year that won a a championship.
Well, no, they're. I would wager there probably hasn't. The closest that would have been
Steve Young.
to that I would throw out recently would probably be a Kaepernick, right? Because he
He
went
didn't
to a
win.
Super Bowl. No, but I'm just saying that got that far.
Oh, there's a bunch of them that's been in the league. Especially there's more and more, but
Yeah,
they
but we're
don't
just
win.
talking about getting themselves to a point to where they are right at that level of where they could win a championship. Josh Allen's right there. I mean, if you Josh Allen's one play away from being in the Super Bowl last year,
Mm-hmm.
not this past season, but the year before that,
I've heard that before.
right? But like that doesn't mean his legs are a hindrance.
I believe that you need to be a much better pocket. I mean, you need to be a pocket. You need to be a good pocket quarterback to win a
I agree.
championship,
I agree. I also
especially to
just don't
compete for
want.
one consistently. You can definitely. Somebody's going to sneak one in soon, but I think to
No,
win
and
consistently,
that's
you have to
ultimately
be a
my
pocket
point.
passer.
Right. That's ultimately my point. Is that eventually we're going to start saying that like that 500 to 700 yards is going to be the minimum, because I think that's where the league is going. It's going to be
That's
leaning
possible.
more towards a mobile. I mean, just look at the college game, right? Like NFL has always been 3 4 years behind, 5 7 years behind the college game.
So
Right.
I put it to you like this: I feel like the running quarterback is like is something, and not even actually, it's not even as advanced as this. It's like the high scoring point guard. It's great to have a high scoring point guard, but after Curry, who
I
won a
don't.
championship?
I don't know that I agree with that analogy, only because like we've established that
Who won a
it,
championship after Curry? Besides Curry, that's a high scoring point guard.
I'm just saying it from the standpoint of the impact plays that 1 versus 5 versus 1 versus 11.
Well, no. I'm not comparing it in that regard. What I'm saying is people love the high scoring point guard. Everybody want the
Yeah,
high scoring point guard. And I've always said if your point guard is the best scorer or the best player on your team, then more than likely you won't win a championship. So people love the running quarterback now. Everybody wants a running quarterback now. And I've been saying, hey, that's great to have that. That's exciting and all that. But have they won championships?
Kyrie is a 23,
He wasn't
24
the best
point
player on
game
your team.
scorer.
I'm saying as the best player on your team.
I mean, we're
Kyrie
splitting
wasn't.
hairs. We're splitting hair. Like there's two teams where Kyrie wouldn't be the best player on that team, and
Well,
that's if he's not
he
with
wasn't.
Durant. That's if he's not with Durant, as if he's not with LeBron.
Kyrie got one championship, and he wasn't anywhere near the best player on the team when he won it. Anywhere near. He was clearly the second best, but he was in no competition for first. So I mean,
I mean, I
that's
get it.
a clear
Yeah,
line.
but you're talking about having a generational talent, though. Like Kyrie is a type of player that could lead a team to a title.
Could, would, should. Point is, in the history of basketball,
There's
if,
been three.
if the point guard as the best, let me. Here's a caveat because it's about height.
Okay.
You got if your point guard who's typically 6'4" and under is the best player on your team, is really 6'3", but you don't win
Yeah.
championships. You don't win championships.
I mean,
6'3" and under, you don't win championships.
I'm not going to argue the
It's
history.
rare. You got Curry and you got Zeke. That's it.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
how I feel about the running quarterback. Same
I
thing.
just,
Same thing.
I think in both instances of being the point guard and in the running quarterback, you're undervaluing that overall skill set, because I think it is vital, and especially in the NFL where it's been made clear the stress of having that mobility puts on a defense, right? Like guys have to, like when you're talking about defensive ends, defensive tackles saying meet me at the quarterback, because they know where he's going to be. They know 3, 5, 7 step drop. They know where to meet him at, right? If you're talking about a guy that's going to be roaming out of the pocket, naked boots, they're running, all of these positional plays to get him off of his mark, and he's still as lethal because he can either throw it off his mark or now he can just tuck it and run, make two guys miss, and all of a sudden he's out the back door for 25, 30 yards. I mean, like why would I not encourage that?
All I'm simply telling you is if you hold on, the broadcast go out or we pop back on? Okay.
No,
All
yeah,
I'm
we're good.
simply telling you is that I pay attention to trends in sports a lot of times and what typically happens, what you typically see. And I said it's going to happen at some point, but it has yet to happen. It is yet to happen. And it's yet to happen for a reason. Because if you can be a runner, like Patrick Mahomes is good with his leg, but he don't run that often. They
No,
don't design runs for Patrick Mahomes.
I would disagree with that.
They
But go
don't.
ahead.
They don't. Come on, dog.
They,
Patrick Mahomes
they,
probably
they
average
have.
maybe two, three
I
hundred
mean, we.
rushing. Yeah, They don't really design running plays for Patrick Mahomes like that. I ain't saying never, but it's not often. It's not often at all.
Okay.
You disagree?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if you, I mean, let's just go back to the. Was it? No, it wasn't Super Bowl. No, it was what they played in the AFC Championship game. That fourth quarter, they literally ran probably 6 plays, very clearly designed QB jets, QB runs, QB like off tackles.
And how often do they do that throughout the season?
But they did it when it counted because they trusted
So,
his legs.
right, situational because he can run. But
Right.
what did I say? Typically, he does not run.
Uh,
Typically, he is trying to run only to get the ball off. He is
right.
not
Well,
running
and
to
that's
get yards.
but you're making my point there for me. So it's using your mobility as a weapon.
But that's not what I said though. What I said is if you have guys like Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, probably even Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
who are much better runners than they are in the pocket. Like they are much better runners than they are in the pocket. They don't win championships, and they have not. None of them have. Not Mike Vick. Like if I say Josh Allen's on the border, but he ain't got there yet. Now, at some point, it's going to happen because it's the trend of where quarterbacks are going these days. They're being mobile and they're running
Yeah.
more. But
Exactly.
I still say, whenever you see a quarterback who's consistently competing for championships, like a Tom Brady was, like a Steve Young, like a Montana, goddamn it, even Ben Roethlisberger, he won too, but he had like 3-4 runs at it. Like a guys who consistently up there, you're gonna have to be a much better pocket passer than you are a runner. Now you can have the ability to run, you can be mobile like a Steve Young, like a Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying a straight pocket passer, but the ones who do mostly running, yeah, it's gonna be tough on them, bro. I think they're just fun to watch, but they don't win. Not
Uh,
titles.
I mean, I get that they haven't won. I just think that it's inevitably. I think it's inevitable that they will be the benchmark.
I don't
Cam,
think they're gonna
Cam
ever
was
be the benchmark. I think
Cam was the
pocket
closest,
I think
right?
being a pocket passer as your best ability will always be the benchmark. I don't think being a runner as your best ability will be the benchmark for quarterbacks ever.
I mean, let's step back. I've said it has to be both. Like you have to use all the tools in your tool belt, right? And if your tool happens to be you're a Cam Newton and you can run and you are a great pocket passer because he was great at both.
You need to be at least 65% pocket passer.
Okay. I think in 5 years we will be having a different discussion.
I don't. I think, like I said, that's why, and we can move on, but that's why I compared it to the high scoring point guard because they so excited when everybody sees them, everybody wants one. But other than one guy, there's only been one of them that won a title. Just one. As the best player on the team, and he putting up 25 to 30 points a game. Like even when Kyrie won, I think he only averaged like 24. But yeah, it's only been one. Dame, Trae Young, all these small guards is putting up big numbers. They haven't won.
Here's the thing: we're also looking at this in just a positional silo. We have to look at the team context as well, right? Because there's only so much uplifting of a crappy team you can do, right? Like, let's just be honest there, right?
We'll see.
So, if you're looking at it from a team context, like I said, like I mentioned, Cam, a play from being the guy that set the benchmark. Jalen Hurts could have been the guy that set the benchmark.
Didn't win.
But they are consistently getting to that point though. It's only a matter of time before they start crossing the threshold, and now they start winning.
like I said they're going to get one, but we'll see if there's a quarterback who's a better runner than he is a passer that wins and consistently competes for it. Not just sneaks one in and never gets close again. I mean, even if you only get one, he get about 3-4 shots at it, and he's a better runner than he is a passer.
I mean,
That's the caveat I'm going. Not that he can do both. He's a
yeah.
better runner than he is a passer, and he's won a title, and he's consistently got his team up there competing for it. We'll see, because I think that I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think it'll be Lamar.
I think you'll get one guy, and then the rest of the dudes will all just keep failing, just like the point guards. You get one guy who can do it, and the rest of them, everyone wants to try it because it's a copycat league in all these sports, and the rest of them will look great doing it, but they won't get titles because it's a reason why that style is difficult to win titles in. It's not. Well, it's not just happenstance.
I would like to see. I would like to see a team built to support that.
Hey, the Ravens. Ravens just got. Speaking of football, baby. The Ravens just got Mr.
Yeah. So Wilma, this is an easy segue into free agency, man. Because what? There have been some. There have been some moves. I'm loving it.
The Eagles and the Ravens offense.
They're paper champs right now, man. Paper champs.
Based strictly on what their offenses are. Both those teams supposed to be in a Super Bowl because you look at the Eagles offense. AJ Brown, Smith, Goddard at tight end.
Yep.
And Saquon.
Plus
Jalen Hurts. And if
let's not ignore the fact that losing Jason Kelce is a big blow.
That is. But when you add Saquon, you just need a decent center. You don't have to have an all-pro. Now, having an all-pro, matter of fact, not just an all-pro. Let me take that back. That's slight him. Having one of the best centers ever, no matter who you put in there, unless you put in another potential best center ever, it's going to be a downgrade. But what if it's only a downgrade to a B? They still got a pretty good offensive line anyway.
Yeah, the drop off is
right. You be all right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's Saquon. So the drop off in offensive line versus the upgrade in running back.
Running back, yeah. So like if you have it, like he can make that offset. So like if a guy misses a block, that's a block that Saquon can make him miss, as opposed to.
So if your offensive line went from a plus overall to a B plus or a B overall, but your running back position just went from a C plus to a A plus.
Right.
I mean, you all right?
Yeah.
You won't need all the quarterback sneaks.
Yeah, I think as far as what we've seen thus far, I like a lot of everything that the Ravens have done so far. I like everything the Ravens have done, man. They have addressed some holes. They got some big time talent, and they got them on good contracts. They got them on some good contracts. Like they're going to be a little
16, tight. 9 guaranteed. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's nothing.
Yeah. Nothing. I don't know how I feel about Sierra's husband to the Steelers.
I think it's a good move.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback. I just,
he didn't have a terrible year last year.
No, he didn't have a terrible year. But the games that he had that were terrible were terrible. And in the AFC North, you can't have 2 games like that.
But he still only threw 8 interceptions versus 26 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Now he had some games where he struggled to get the ball up and down the field, make first downs. I'll give you that. But Denver wasn't a super talented team, and he's not the same, Russell. But
no,
I don't know. I mean, they got. We'll see. I like Pittsburgh for him because Tomlin's there, and I think what Tomlin can do with a quarterback, even when Ben was old. So, I like that. Obviously, I like what the Ravens did.
Yeah,
Ravens ain't playing no games. I like what the Texans did too.
Go ahead.
The Texans.
Oh, Texans, yeah. I mean, the Texans are going to be 11, 12 game winners next year, I think. That's going to be tough to get because the Titans made some moves also. They got
Calvin
But
Ridley.
yeah, but they got to figure out the quarterback position there because like I like Will Levis, but they got to keep that man upright. He got hit a lot. He got hit a lot, So they got to keep him upright, and then the Colts have to figure out what they have in Anthony Richardson. As a Gator, obviously, I'm going to make it a point to bring up the Gators at some point in time in every show. So here we are.
He wasn't even really that great of a good. He wasn't. He didn't
He
do that well in college. To be honest with you, like he was very inefficient. Very
he
inefficient.
was not a good team. Okay, I'm just flat out say it. The Florida Gators were not a good team. He was an exceptional talent, exceptional. So I get why the Colts made the move that they did to get him that high. And if you watched him I mean, yes, like there were some rookie mistakes that he made, but he made some plays that were just okay. We got something, and they re-signed the kid from USC.
How many games the Colts won last year?
I want to say 7.
About to say 7 or 8. I'm not ready to talk about them yet. They don't deserve. I'll talk about the Bears before I talk about the Colts because listen, I don't know about you. I was listening to a lot of radio over this past couple of days. I was watching a lot of ESPN, a lot of NFL Network. Like I was trying to take in all the opinions. I'm on the internet. I'm on YouTube. I'm trying to find out what's going on, right? And the only consensus that I've gotten is that the Bears are taking the quarterback, and that the Bears, well, you know what? At first, I was thinking what everybody was saying is that there's no way Justin Fields is going to be a starter next year. They told Justin Fields they want to do right by him. Like that doesn't sound like somebody that you planning on bringing back as your starter. I think the surprise might be it's going to be McDaniels that they take and not Williams. That might be the surprise. But other than that, like from everything I've gotten, Justin Fields' time as a Bears done.
I'm sorry, I blacked out there for a second. What did you say? I just didn't hear what you said. There was like something in my contacts.
I was wondering what the fuck you were doing.
I couldn't hear you. I didn't even know what you were saying. There was something to the effect of like the Bears are going to trade their number 1 pick. So I was like, yeah, but totally, I get it. That's what they're going to do. Listen, the setback that you're going to have, the setback that you're going to have by taking a quarterback, I just think is too insurmountable. Like it just is. Like no quarterback is going to walk into that situation. Like the Bears were 2 games away from being in the playoffs last year, and it was 2 games. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Clarence Morgan said in the chat that Mike Vick didn't have any weapons. Man, what?
I mean, he had Roddy White.
He had Algie Crumpler.
Yeah, he has a Crumpler.
He had wasn't Warwick done with him? Who's the running back? Yeah, he had 2 good running backs.
Yeah, he had him and he had Jamal Anderson.
Jamal Anderson was nice.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't remember.
He had a good running back, and Algie Crumpler was a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, but I mean, it's similar. Just think about the Bears, right? Like the Bears had a good running back, they had a good wide receiver, and a good tight end. And what else?
Okay, so back to the Bears. So you listen, you really sticking. I told you I was never on 100% sold on Justin, but I don't feel that any of these quarterbacks in the draft necessarily are someone to be giving up on Justin for.
No, that's my biggest thing, right? Like there's no one who is that much better than what you already have in house, 1, who the team is already behind, 2, and 3, the amount of holes that you have as a team that you can fill with the multitude of picks
that's what everybody's saying. The local radio saying it. The national analysts are saying it. Everybody is saying that they don't know what the Bears are doing, but the one thing that all of them seem to be in unison about, and I would say about 90% of them seem to agree on, that Justin if he stays, he's on the bench. I'm just telling you what I've been hearing. Like I don't have no connects. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that they put the man on the bench one way or another.
I don't see a Caleb Williams because if we're doing this, we're really always talking about 2 guys.
Yeah, Caleb Williams only
Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams. That's it. Those are like it ain't gonna be a Drake May, it ain't gonna be a JJ McCarthy, whatever that crap is that's been thrown out there. It ain't gonna be a Bo Nix. Right? It's
How,
gonna be
how
JJ.
tall, how
It's,
tall is
it's gonna be
Daniel?
Jaden Daniels or it's gonna be Caleb Williams. I don't see either one of them stepping in and beating out Justin Fields. I just don't see it.
Maybe they just gonna hand it to him unless it,
And
unless
then,
he
and then
unless they
if
play
that
unless
if
they
that's
play
the
unless
case,
he plays terrible.
if that's the case, at that point, that's not doing right by anyone, even their own team.
When you know the Bears to do right by it. Like
I
you
get
say
it.
that shit like that's
I
you
get
said
it.
that like that's absurd. Like
But I
you know
but
where we at?
I
At
just
least
like
they
the fact that I like that
go ahead.
Poles has kept so many things close to the vest. The moves he's made thus far have been very calculated. I like them. There hasn't been one where I've been like, oh, I don't know if I would do that. Like they've all been good backfill positions. So I think that
If you had to take one, who you take?
if I had to take one,
If you had to take one of these quarterbacks, Williams, Daniels,
I'm taking Daniels.
Drake,
No, I'm taking Daniels. I saw what Daniels did.
AJ from Nazareth, La-
No.
LaGrange Park, Illinois,
And I
by way
like
of the
JJ.
University of Michigan, national champions. You know I'm talking about. Go blue. You heard? Yeah, I'm talking about. Shit.
Here we go.
Go
Here we go.
blue.
I,
Michigan, national champions. You know I'm talking about. Yeah.
I can't wait to see them in the
Oh,
NIT. Uh,
we ain't going to no NIT. Are you nuts?
no, that goes on.
We are
I like
terrible.
I
We are the
like
worst team
JJ.
in the Big Ten this year.
I like JJ. I do. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. If I had to take one, I'm taking Jaden Daniels because I
Me
saw
too.
what he did versus elite defenses.
Me
I
too.
mean, like, and when I say elite, I'm talking about 3-level defenses, right? Like he just did what he wanted to do.
And Williams didn't face many elite defenses, and he
He
did not
didn't.
light it up.
He didn't. And I know there was that meme that gets tossed around like whatever numbers he put up versus the best defenses that he played.
The
I don't
Pac-10.
take much. I don't take much stock in that. I just don't. Um,
I'm just saying,
but
when you're supposed to be a generational quarterback, if you're if we took Fields because he's supposed to be a generational quarterback. So if you're saying this is gonna be Fields will be year 4, I'm
yeah,
giving up on my quarterback in year 4 for another quarterback, then that quarterback needs to be a generational talent. That
yeah,
quarterback needs to be the quarterback that you are going to be riding to the sunset with for the next decade, hopefully.
yeah, yeah.
Not a stopgap, not a quarterback just to bridge you to the next draft pick. Like, no, you already got a top draft pick in there.
Right,
So
right,
if I'm giving up on him, that's what he need to be. So
right.
hey, listen, and I'm not saying it can't happen. Tom Brady, the greatest all time. He was number 7 in Michigan. He could barely hold down the starting spot over Brian Greasy. They had him
And
back and
Drew
forth.
Henson he was
Brian
behind
Greasy.
too.
Well, I think they had it back and forth between Brian Greasy until he graduated. Then Tom Brady
Yeah,
took over, and I think Chad Henne was the next year, whatever. But the point being, we seen quarterbacks be great who wasn't necessarily the greatest in college, but we've seen a lot of Williams, and we've
oh,
seen him in a conference that's all offense, and he hasn't
yeah.
looked impressive against a conference that isn't known for defense. So
No, your
I just
chances
I
of
don't
getting
think
a
he's
bust
short.
are much better. Yeah, your chances of
He's
getting a
short.
bust are much bigger than getting a quality quarterback. Let's just be honest. Like, that's just a
Especially
fact.
name the short quarterback that didn't light it up in college because he's only
Yeah,
6'1".
yeah,
So you name me the
yeah,
short quarterback that didn't light it up in college that killed in the NFL.
yeah. I mean, you look at. I mean, look at how Bryce struggled in Carolina, and he's smaller than Caleb.
He did much better in college
Yeah. Oh, he did whatever he wanted to in college.
how tall is Russell Wilson? 6'3"?
Yeah, he's in that range.
Because what's the guy's only 6'1".
So
6'1", dog.
yeah, yeah.
I'm posting him. Nah, no, I'm cool. I don't like short quarterbacks. I don't like short quarterbacks, bro.
No, no.
Like that's another thing in the NFL. Name me another short quarterback that won a title other than Drew Brees got you one, and who else? What
Ugh,
6'1", 6'2" quarterback got won
no,
championships?
no. You gotta go way, way back.
Know what I'm saying? Like I
You
know
gotta
it
go way back.
sounds fun to get one of these little motherfuckers ripping and running, but Oh, do they win championships? Do they even consistently compete for it? You got Drew Brees. It be these one-time generational talents that do that shit, and everybody want to copy something you might never see again.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
You might never,
Yeah.
that's why I compared it to the point guard thing, just to take it back there real quick. Like you compare it to something like Curry, you might never see again. You might see shit a lot close to Curry, but not Curry.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Just
yeah,
saying.
it's if you're talking about between those two, I'm taking Jane Daniels, because he's a bigger quarterback, and again, the competition that he faced week in and week out, that he put up numbers on with his legs and his arm were elite, right? And yeah, you like go ahead and hang whatever record you want. I hate when people hang win-loss records on quarterbacks. Should you win? Yes. There's a lot of factors that go into winning.
That's
There's a
another
lot.
cliche that we need to throw out along with the 1,000
There's a,
yards on the receiving and running
there's a
back is
lot of factors that go into that. People want to
quarterback
throw
are
out
getting the
win-loss
majority of
records.
credit for winning championships. Because I
Right.
saw Eli.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Ben. Let's be honest. Ben's first
The
Super
second
Bowl.
one he was different, but the first one,
No, yeah, but for sure, his second one he won.
the first one was the
He
deer in headlights.
Yeah, he had no clue.
No clue. Terrified.
I think he might have thrown for like 180, maybe. I think it was
Maybe.
under 200 yards,
Maybe.
right? But like he had no. It was all James Harrison. It was all Troy Polamalu. It was all that defense.
And Bettis.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, turn head 36, let him do his thing,
Yeah.
right? And just make optimal slant throws and hit Hines Ward here and there. Right?
But he grew into a pocket passer because he was a big tackle breaking quarterback. Remember Miami of Ohio?
Yeah.
He used to muff people to throw the ball.
Right. Yeah. Dare I say he developed into a quarterback. I know that was a big contention of whether our guys either have it or they get developed. Guys develop, right? Like you see it every year. Guys develop.
So
CJ Stroud tell you himself, I developed into a good quarterback in the NFL.
So let me ask you this before we get off the Bears. What you think of the picking up Swift?
I love it. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, I do, because again, I take it back to watching him in college. Now I say all this with I'm gonna put a caveat on this. If he's healthy, he's one of the most dynamic guys in the league. I watched him in college. He was a monster at Georgia, and it pains everything in me to say anything nice about a Georgia player. It just does.
He ain't been no monster in the NFL.
Injuries, but like when he's well, two things. One, he was with the Lions, who have always been a pass happy team, right? So like that's just their MO. Always has been, always. Well, it's not always will be now because Dan Williams got them playing different brand of ball, but he's a dynamic player. You get the ball in his hands, you get him out on a jet sweep, or you get him out in space, get the ball in his hands. And I mean, he is an exceptionally talented player. And you got people who I read somewhere where they were like, I would have rather had Montgomery. Healthy, 1-for-1, I would take Swift 10 times over 10 over Montgomery. Not even question.
I'm not gonna act like Swift not a good ball player, but he don't move the needle for me. The Bears have 50 million in cap space, dog. You got 50 million in cap space, and you're talking about either having Justin Fields as your quarterback or a very young quarterback. And as we just discussed, especially for a young quarterback, what is a quarterback's best friend, especially a young or a running quarterback?
A healthy offensive line.
And number two?
Solid wide receivers.
Man, hell no, running back.
I was gonna keep saying everything until. I'm glad you didn't ask me again. I'm like, defense.
Yeah, I know you're gonna set me up. It's all good. I'm just saying, like, man, we could have got. Listen, we could have got Saquon or Travis Henry to go with our young quarterback. Either way we go, we gonna have a young quarterback, dog. What better than to have a monster? And we need a center. What better than to have a monster running game? We got plenty of cap space. We finally got some talent already in the field. You got more. Like I say, I think he's like a mid-level or low-level number one. You got Cole Kmet, who I'm actually a fan of. He had like 700 yards receiving last year. Yeah, I'm a fan of Cole Kmet. All right, so when you got DeAndre, so you could have got one of the better running backs to go with one of your very young quarterbacks. Like, come on. I hate management for the Chicago, man. Go, Joe, you couldn't spend 16 million to get Henry. We couldn't spend that.
That's what I was looking at. They got Henry 2 year, $16 million deal. And they had DeAndre Swift for a 3 year, $24 million deal. So
it's the same money. It's the same years. It's 8 and 8.
No, it's not the same money because you got to take two things into consideration. One, the workload that Henry had on that body. Let's be honest. You're talking
You
about
gotta
a guy
run the
that
quarterback. We ain't gotta run him like that.
well, yeah, but that doesn't mean he don't have that mileage still.
And a down year for
And
him.
then you're talking about a 5-year age difference.
Okay.
Right? Henry's 30. The drop off for running backs after age 29 is exponential.
That's true.
Right.
That's
so you're
true.
talking about getting a younger player on a more cap friendly deal.
And hold on, somebody said Henry don't catch the ball out the backfield. He had just as many receiving. He had just as many receiving yards as Swift. Swift just had 10 more catches. That's it. Swift had. I'm looking at it right now. Swift had 39 catches for 214 yards. Henry had 28 catches for 214 yards. Swift is not a markedly better receiver out the backfield.
How many games does Swift play though?
I mean, we could have got Saquon, dog. And ain't Josh available too?
Josh Jacobs went to the Packers.
How much they pay him?
Let me see.
Man,
and someone had mentioned that in the chat. I specifically hold a no talking about the Packers policy, so I will not reference that.
Yeah, but I want to know how much they paid him to see how much we could have got him
for. They got him for. Where are you?
Man, come on, man. I'm like I say, Swift decent, man. We'll see.
I like him. I like him a lot.
I don't dislike him. I'm just not.
They got him for 4 years, $48 million. That's a lot of money.
12 million for a run. How old is he? What are you like? 27, 28?
Yeah, he's 26.
He's still young.
He's young, but he's
still young.
He's been injured.
How old is Swift?
Swift is 25. Just turned 25.
Bob said we couldn't have got Saquon. Dog, we got $50
million
under the cap. The only
but it's a matter of him wanting to come. I don't think Saquon would have wanted to come here.
How you know that?
I don't think so. Because if you just look at the way they're treating Justin, right? We already know that Saquon has always been. Saquon is he's never been quiet. He's going to speak his mind, and B, right? Like he's always worn emotion on his sleeve. Like why would you come here to a franchise that won't take care of their young talented players right now?
Okay. All right.
So,
well, we'll see. Like I say, we're gonna see what's gonna happen with the draft. If the Bears do decide to keep Justin, let's just do this real quick before you move on. There's something else I want to talk about. If the Bears do decide to keep Justin and trade down, who do you think at this point will trade for the number 1 pick? Because I saw a lot of people saying that they don't think the Patriots would because they got Jacoby Brissett. And I'm like, since when is Jacoby Brissett somebody that you wouldn't take a quarterback over?
Yeah, no.
I don't think the Patriots would be an extra trade down and get 3. Give me the 3rd pick and a 2nd rounder and a player.
Yeah, no. You mentioned before about a stopgap. Jacoby Brissett is the textbook definition of a stopgap quarterback. Like he's a guy you can stash your number 3 pick behind, right, and let him ride him in, and then that following year, that top pick you made, it can take over the reins.
I wonder
especially when talking about the turnover that they had with Belichick leaving, with them getting rid of Mac Jones, who we thought to be the future, right? Like,
yeah, I was shocked
let that new quarterback come in and have time to grow before you just throw him into the fire. That's exactly what Jacoby Brissett is for.
Who does Washington have a quarterback?
They have Sam Howell.
Are they sticking with him? Didn't they bench him towards the end of the year?
He was getting sat here and there, and then someone got hurt, and he had to come back in for Heineke, and then Heineke got So there was some roulette happening there.
Hey man, I can see New England possibly doing that, even though they might figure they'll take either or, so they may not be willing to trade that up.
Yeah.
Tennessee, I could definitely see Tennessee trading for a quarterback. Do you think? Well, I don't know. They got
Will Levis. No, they got Will Levis. They're not
You
trading
think they
for a
sold
quarterback.
him? I feel like they just put him there
No,
because
they
that's
are.
all they had.
They
They
just
didn't even
drafted
start.
him
They didn't even
first round
start the
last
season
year.
with him, didn't they? Didn't they start somebody
Yeah,
in front of him
no,
to start the season?
he's going to be the guy
Who was
there,
in front of
without
him
a
to start the season? He didn't start the whole season.
no. It was what's his name, Brian Tannehill.
Right. They weren't even
Mhm.
trying to.
No,
When
but he
they
got
draft
hurt.
him,
They were Ryan. He was a stopgap. He was Jacoby Brissett in
that's it.
Tennessee.
They got two young. They got
So,
two young quarterbacks actually. Now that I think about it,
yeah,
they got two
because
young quarterbacks.
well, do they still have Malik Willis?
Right. Yeah. They got two young quarterbacks.
So I'm like Malik Willis has shown that he has a huge arm, but he's also shown that he enjoys throwing to the other team. So
So if you trade, so if you the Bears, considering Washington has their quarterback,
yep,
apparently. New England probably don't feel it's worth it to what you're gonna ask to give up just to move two slots because they know they're gonna end up with one of those quarterbacks.
yeah, but
Uh,
if you want your guy, you want your guy.
that's true. So that would depend on how bad New England wants it, and they
Right,
might be willing to do that because it's a new tenure for them.
right.
They want to make a big splash of Belichick gone. But other than New England, I don't see nobody in the top 10 that would give up pick four. The Giants ain't gonna do it. They just paid that Danny. Chargers not doing it.
The
Cardinals
Giants.
not doing it.
I strongly disagree. I think the Giants absolutely would. They don't trust. They don't want Daniel Jones. They
They
benched him
just paid him.
they benched him the last 4 games of the year for that dude
That's
that
true.
marketed his name. What was his name? I
That's
can't
true.
remember. They
That's
benched him the last 4 or 5 games of the year.
a lot of
He's
dead money, dog.
done.
Did he
No,
get
it
a
is.
cash guarantee? Was it
He
guaranteed?
is. Oh, it's a hit to the pocketbook for sure.
Oh man, no,
But
no, no, they're not, no, no,
but
no, 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 they're not doing that. They're
no,
not
I'm
giving up.
telling
They're not giving up everything they're gonna have to give up after they just gave him all that guaranteed money. They're not gonna do what the Broncos just did. No, no, I don't see that. Not New York. New York not doing that. No,
you.
no, no. I'd be surprised.
I disagree.
Anything's
I think,
possible, but I'd be shocked.
but
I'll be shocked. They don't have a history
they
of
did
winning
just
like that.
the Giants did just sign Drew Lock, so that's a factor. But I could easily see them taking and stashing. I could
Obviously, the
easily see
Bears
them.
just need to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I would love for the
I,
Bears to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
no, do it.
And then have Justin have that type of offensive talent on the side out
Do it.
on both
Do it.
sides.
Be to me, it's be bold.
That'd be like having
Get
Brandon Marshall and what you call it back. What
yo,
what is
yeah, Alshon. Yeah, you
Alshon
got two
Jeffrey.
6'4", 6'5" guys on the outside. Oh man,
Jay Cutler,
please
boy,
do it. Please do it.
hated Jay Cutler.
Because it's like you said last week. DJ Moore is a 1A, 1B,
He's the
right?
1B.
Like
He's good, but he's the
right,
1B.
yeah. But Marvin Harrison is a 1-1, right? Like he's a clear the side, throw your double coverage. He'll get it from two guys.
So real quick, I want to chop it up about this before we leave. What you think about
Yeah, or you know where
Mike
you're going.
Tyson and Jake Paul?
All this does for me, and anyone that's in the locker room knows this. I have said this for the past probably 10 years. All it does for me is solidify my stance that boxing is a dying sport. It just is. It just is. Right? Like there was a point in time where boxing was the preeminent sport on the planet. Right?
It
Where
was
like
a
if there was a fight,
CTV.
like everything shut down if there was a fight, right? It just did. The heavyweight class was ridiculous. That middleweight class was ridiculous. That like it
Yep.
was it.
I used to sit on the
Right?
bed with my father, and we used to get a
Man,
notebook. We would
I mean,
score by rounds.
yo, I wasn't even the biggest boxing guy, but I would be at my uncle's house over in Bellwood, and I still to this day remember watching uh, uh, Tyson lose. Still to this day, remember, right? Like that house was packed because it
Nah,
was
I wasn't excited about that fight.
right. But it was, but that's what boxing was. It was the top, right?
That's true.
And it has been a steady decline to the point where, like I said, I've said the last 10 years, it is a farce of what it was. It's a shame. It's a sham, and that's all this fight is.
But
Right? You're talking about a guy, and I'm not discounting Jake Paul's talent.
no, you can.
I'll leave that for you. But you're fighting a 50-year-old man
60,
as a
57. He'd be 58 by the time I fight.
right. So like that's your sports highlight. That's your sport.
But it's not though. Don't. But it's not though. He not the highlight of the sport. Devontae Davis is the top name.
I'm not. No,
Don't do
but
that.
I'm saying. Okay,
Don't do that.
listen. Right now, who are people more excited to see right now?
Man,
Devontae Davis fight.
just
Hold
because
on,
it's Mike Tyson, dog.
Right, I get it, but like this, but that's the level. That's the level
Nah, I
of
disagree.
mud that your sport is
That's
in.
like
That like
that's,
the
that's like saying you had Michael
57-year-old
Jordan
was
come
not
back for a
taught in
3-on-3,
how
bro.
long.
Anybody would get excited to see Mike Tyson fight. That's like saying Mike for the comeback for a one time only 3-on-3. Everybody in the world want to watch. It's fucking Mike Tyson, dog. The reason he fighting Mike Tyson is because he tried to actually fight two boxers. I think his last two fights. You know their names? Yeah, me neither. Nobody gave a fuck.
No, because
Right.
nobody cares.
That's why he doing this shit. Now I don't know why Mike doing it. And I wish Mike wasn't doing it because he's 60 years, damn near 60 years old.
And it ain't like he needs the money.
No, what I heard, he making a ton of paper off the smoke. So I don't understand why he doing it either. From what I heard, is they got a no knockout clause, just like the Roy Jones Jr. shit. I ain't paying to watch that shit.
No one should.
Listen, I've given my opinion on Jake Paul. I don't think Jake Paul, the only thing I don't like about Jake Paul, I don't care about him getting his money. But call yourself an entertainer. You're more like a WWE guy to me than you are a fighter. You're playing around in the fight game.
Closer to that. Yeah.
Now, you may train very hard, just like the WWE guys train very hard. If you want to, because somebody said you're an athlete based on your training, and there's an argument for that. But when you play a sport that has a predetermined scripted outcome, I can't respect it. And Jake Paul, no, he doesn't necessarily have a predetermined scripted outcome. He's fighting dudes who don't train to do what he does.
Right.
Like the fighting a old MMA fighter.
Yeah.
So he didn't even fight MMA fighters in their primes. And none of them dudes box like that. Like the closest he came with Anderson Silva had some boxing background, you know what I'm saying? But he old already.
Right. Yeah, he's fighting guys who were strikers, not boxers.
Yeah. And like I said, and then you fought difference. Right. Then you fought a boxer in Tyson Fury's son. You lost. Then you went back to fight some other clown. You fought some like I say, some how they say see that Travis did some Tijuana cab drivers. You fought two Tijuana cab drivers. God damn it. Nobody wanted to see that shit. Now you about to make another spectacle, dog. You're not a boxer, you're an entertainer. If you're a boxer, go ahead and really get your weight up.
Right.
Fight some of these young guns who don't have a huge name, but they were the ones you need to beat to get your name up for real in boxing. If you really want to be a boxer, that's what you're doing. You want to make a sideshow. It's gonna be an entertainer, Joe. Because you just, man, I wish they didn't have no knockout clause. I wish Mike would actually hurt that boy. But the problem is Mike need to get hurt because he's 60. And you can't take punches the same at that age.
No, that and your hand speed, hand-eye coordination, it all drops off. It just does.
And Jake Paul is a big boy, and he is strong. And he does have some skill. I ain't going to act like he's a complete bum. He does have some skill.
Yeah, I just think that this plays right into my thought process around the entirety of boxing. It is no longer, and it won't ever be the draw that it once was. It just won't.
It might not be, but I still love boxing. I still love to watch the technique and the skill set. Like that's probably the only sport, boxing and MMA, where I can actually watch it and I know the outcome already because I enjoy watching the technique, the skill set. I can watch defensive fighters and I can truly appreciate it. I know a lot of people didn't like Floyd. I wasn't a huge Floyd fan, but I understood what he was doing with his defensive technique. And so I like Pernell Whitaker, who was super defensive like that. I wasn't a huge fan of Winky Wright, but I appreciated his boxing. Like Bernard Hopkins was a lot of time called a boring fighter because he would muck it up and all that. So I appreciate this. I just love the sport. And it is a ton of bullshit in boxing. Ton of bullshit in boxing. The top guys don't fight each other. All this goofy shit they be doing.
Yeah, like there's all the different titles and belts. There's no unified. There's nothing that's unified. There's no one system. There's no one.
There's 37 belts and shit. They got the Family Dollar belt. God damn it, motherfucking. I think the motherfucking the Regal Beagle got a belt. God damn it, fuck out of here.
Family Dollar belt. You get a lifetime. You get a lifetime discount.
The Cindy Lynn or motherfucking Ogden got a belt. Goddamn it.
But that's the thing is like there are ways to make boxing more appealing that I just feel as though like they're just actively choosing not to. Right? Like it's just they're just not like come under one unified body, right? Like let us know who is who is fighting who should be fighting who. Give us a clear delineated system so we understand where our excitement should lie, right? Like I don't watch. Like I have League Pass. I don't watch every game, but I watch the highlight games because those are the names. Those are the names that I want to see. Like give me the fights, line up the players, line up like give me the fights that I want to see, and make them mandatory. Like this having 3 or 4 years where you can duck a guy that you know you should have fought 2 years ago, it blows my mind.
The game
I mean
fucked
that,
up.
that
The promoters still got it fucked up. People trying to protect their brand instead of establishing themselves as the best fighter in the world. They want
yeah
to protect that because of Floyd copycat. They want to protect that zero. You know what I'm
yeah
saying? And contrary to popular belief, Floyd did fight everybody. There was people
yeah.
that he
But it's
didn't
a matter
fight when
of
they when they when they wanted to fight him. But like I tell people, and I'm not a huge Floyd fan, but this is the thing about Floyd. It was only really two fighters that you could say he didn't fight when he's supposed to fight him. That's Shane
Manny,
Mosley
Shane
and
for
Pacquiao.
sure. Yeah,
Shane
and
and
Manny,
Pacquiao.
that
But this
Manny
was the
fight should
thing.
have been 7 years prior,
So the
minimum.
Shane fight should have been much earlier too. But this is the
Yeah,
thing. When Floyd was young and up and coming, when he was far more aggressive, Shane didn't want to fight Floyd when he was running shit.
yeah.
So Floyd did the same thing to him when it was his turn. Like, nah, motherfucker, when I was young, goddamn it, and I was trying to come up and I was looking for you, you was ducking me. So they did the political bullshit. So when Floyd was on top and now Shane was trying to make a name for himself again, Floyd was like, nah, I ain't giving you that payday because you ain't look out for me. So it was some whack shit, but that's what it was. It was payback. And then you know what it was in Pacquiao. I don't care what nobody say. Pacquiao's on steroids. And Floyd was like, I know it. I know it. Now, there's an argument to be made. Like, it don't matter if you're on steroids. If you think you can beat the man that you saw in that ring, go ahead and fight him. But man, he wasn't trying to lose that oath for no motherfucker who was flagrantly on steroids. Because listen, Pacquiao started off not amateur,
Mm,
professional at 104. Now you name me, and it might be 114, but I'm almost certain it was 104. But it's one, even if it's 114, you name me another boxer that naturally moved up that many weight classes and maintained or gained knockout power.
yeah,
Who? Who?
yeah, yeah.
Who? So it's natural. The higher weight classes you go out of your natural build, the less your power is. Holyfield, all of them, Joe, no matter who you pick, the higher you, Roy Jones Jr., you
I was
knocked
gonna
the,
say, I was gonna say Roy Jones maybe,
he didn't, man,
maybe.
he wasn't knocking
But when
people,
he went up that, when he went up to that super heavy, like he
destroyed his
was,
body.
yeah,
That was
he
the
was
end of his career. He
too
destroyed
bulky.
his body.
He didn't, yeah, because he thrived on his speed, his elusiveness, and he lost a lot of that once he got up to that super heavyweight,
Plus, he did it when he was
super
older. He
middle.
didn't do it in his
Yeah,
prime. So he
yeah, yeah,
bulked up and then he came
yeah,
down too fast. People
yes,
were talking about because he lost to was it Tarver?
yeah.
And if you
Uh,
watch,
yeah, I think it was, yes,
yeah, if you watch that first fight, you notice Roy the whole fight was just walking back against the ropes, telling him to come get him. Because he was
yeah,
tired. And I'm like, Joe, that ain't Roy. And he won that first fight, but
yeah.
he won it off pure skill. But you could tell he was different. Like, let me tell you something. I knew, Joe, I'm a boxer. I love boxing, G. I knew I knew when Mike got out of jail, when he fought Holyfield, I knew from the opening bell, I was like, he finna lose. You know how? Mike just came out throwing like wild
Everything,
haymakers.
everything, everything.
And I was like, that
That ain't how
ain't
you fight.
Mike.
Nope,
That
nope.
ain't Mike. Like Mike throw haymakers now, but he
Yeah,
come with the uh-uh, huh, huh,
yeah,
huh. So he ain't
yeah,
even do that. He like rushed him like he
no,
was like a mad bull. I'm like,
yeah,
oh no, Mike, this ain't Mike. I knew it, G. I
yeah,
knew it. And with
yeah.
Roy, the next time he fought Tyra, nobody could have called that knockout. But I'm like,
Mm,
Joe, he ain't the same. He's slower. That
right.
big, they tore his body up, Joe. But like the game ain't the same, man. The game ain't the same. But I still enjoy a good boxing match, Joe. I still enjoy I wish the uh Crawford and what you call fight, Spence fight would have happened before
Yeah,
he got in the car accident,
right.
unfortunately.
Again,
Spence looked like he was the same, but he ain't looked the same in that fight. I don't know
right.
what was he doing.
But that's another thing. That was because the governing body allowed them to do whatever for 2-3 years, right? And there was no like, yes, there's mandatory challenges, whatever, but like make
Man, they
these
throw them
dudes
belts in
fight,
the garbage. They ignore that shit.
right?
That's
Make
how
these
Lennox
dudes
Lewis got his first belt. You
right,
remember that? He
right.
fight to win that shit. Fucking
No,
not Riddick Bowe. No, Riddick Bowe. Yeah, Riddick Bowe threw his in the garbage. Say he ain't gonna in the press conference. Then he fought. Lennox Lewis fought somebody else to get the vacant belt.
yeah,
He,
like that's the stuff that just pisses me off with this because, like I said, like if you were to just get it all under one umbrella and give us a clear, transparent understanding of like who has to fight who, I would be way more excited about that because I know where the tent pole fights are, right? Like I don't
you
know where
rather
they
have
are
it
now.
in an MMA structure, like having one person running it, like Dana White.
I maybe that's an
How
answer,
about a board?
but a
One
board would
board.
be better. A board would be better because a board would tend to be well for sure it would be less impartial. You know, like it would allow for.
I say
Uh,
you take how many belts are there right now?
I
4.
want to say there's like 5 or 6.
They can't be 6. There's not that many. There's like 4. It's not. It is 6. Well, it used to be 3, so they're probably at least 5. Why you bullshitting? Because even back in the day, there was 3, right?
Yeah, back in the day it was 3.
So if I was them, what I would do is, I mean, I don't even really understand why there's 3 belts, but whatever. Uh, just just nail the board down. Get one person from each belt. We're gonna break it back down to 3 belts, and we're gonna have a board. Or
Let's
just
see.
take it
Yo,
down to one
so we
belt.
got
Have it to one belt shit. You know what I'm saying? And just had a board. And the board you got, and just like Dana White said, having one person running it, the board dictates who you have to fight next based on like kind of like college football, some type of ranking system that
right.
everybody can see. So it could be, you know what I'm saying? So it's not anything with behind closed doors, get the promoters out the game. And
Yeah,
now it's like a league like basketball and football, where the league determines who you fight, not promoters and all that. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
you
There's
can
5. There are 5 belts right now.
right. And they can have some type of rule to stipulate because it is the fight game. You know what I'm saying? People got injury, whatever, but they can have it governed in a way where
So
it dictates, okay, your next fight gonna have to be, either this guy, that guy. You number 3, you got to fight, goddamn it, either 4 or 2. And if you fight 4, you got to fight 2 next. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Something like that. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
There's
But
so
yeah,
many belts that are vacant too. So
huh?
this is ridiculous. I counted at least 15 belts that are vacant. This is stupid. I hate
Yeah,
this.
it's too many. It mucks the game up. The best fighters wait too long to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be much better too. But unfortunately, the things that actually make sense, like, don't always happen.
No,
So
no, they
before
don't.
we shut it down real quick, I think we need to. I want to do like a prediction at the end of each show. We'll have to predict something.
Okay.
So for this show, because it's the NBA right now is so crazy, and honestly, I've been changing who I think gonna be in the finals every motherfucking week.
Minnesota.
Yo,
They look like ass since cat. Your softy got hurt.
you got to predict the order of finish in the Western Conference. Top 4.
Top 4.
Just the Western Conference. That's it. That's a prediction for this week.
Okay. Okay. Top 4. I am going to say Nuggets 1, Thunder 2, Clippers 3, Timberwolves 4. And I was super close to saying the Pelicans. I really was, but I'm not. I know how you feel about it, but the boys have been playing. We're on a 4-game streak right now.
Yeah, regular
Got me
season.
looking
Who you
hot.
got? Nuggets 1, who 2?
Nuggets, Thunder, Clippers, Timberwolves.
Oh, you got the Timberwolves holding on, huh?
I got them holding on. I mean, they're going to drop a spot. They're at 3 right now. I got them dropping to 4. But that's why I was saying, because the Pelicans, they got a favorable schedule the rest of the way out, and they could easily catch the Timberwolves if they slip.
Mine, I got OKC 1, Nugs 2.
Clippers or Timberwolves. Doesn't matter how you feel. I know. I get it.
Clips 3.
There you go. See?
Man, I really think the Nugs might. How many games left? They play 66 games.
They
So
play
they
65 games.
have
There's
what?
17 games
16
left.
games left?
Yeah.
And New Orleans is what? How many games behind them? 5.5.
New
The
Orleans is 2 games
6.5.
behind the Clippers right now.
Yeah,
For
but
fifth.
I ain't really looking at the Clippers. I'm looking at Minnesota.
Right. It's how much will they fall? Because they will fall.
They
It's
got
guaranteed.
Gobert back, right?
Yes, but obviously they lost Cat for an undetermined amount of time.
No, Cat. Yeah. So I'm just flip flopping the 1 and 2. Then I'm just flip flopping 1 and 2.
Okay.
I don't think the Nuggets care about home court advantage.
No, they do not. No.
So I don't think they might hold on to it. And I think the Thunder do care about it because they're a young team and that means something to them.
They need it. Yeah, they would need it, and that would be the decision. And I know how you feel about them being young. If they were to have home court advantage, it's a big deal.
No, right now, if it fell the way it is right now, they would have to face. So let's just say in the play-in games, if it went the way it is right now, who would it be?
Right.
Would it be Sacramento against Golden State and Dallas against the Lakers?
Yes.
Okay, so if you got that, who would you have? I would take Sacramento and the Lakers.
I would take the Mavericks over the Lakers.
I wouldn't. I don't trust the Mavs.
Yeah, but I would take Sacramento over the Warriors. But I would take the Mavs over the Lakers.
Okay, so if the Mavs over the Lakers and the Mavs got the height, so you would have the Mavs as the 7th seed, and no, my bad, you'd have Sacramento as the 7th seed and the Lakers as the 8th. No, Dallas as the 8th seed.
Yep.
Same way it is right now, basically.
Yep.
Okay, so that means Oklahoma would play Sacramento in that first round.
Well, no, if it falls like it is now, they would play the Mavs in the first round.
No, they number 2.
No, Nuggets are 1 right now. I mean, the Thunder are number 1 right now.
I'm looking at the NBA on ESPN. They got the Nuggets at 46 and 20 and the Oklahoma at 45.
Oh, they haven't updated it on here. I was on NBA.com and it's not updated.
Who played tonight? Oh, Denver won again tonight. No, yours ain't updated. They got Denver up by half a game. So okay. I don't know who won. Maybe Oklahoma got the tiebreaker. I don't know.
Well, as it showed before, I knew that Denver won. Oklahoma had the tiebreaker. Okay, so if that's the case,
Oklahoma would much rather play Dallas than they would Sacramento.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah. That's a tough matchup for Oklahoma, for sure.
So you taking Luka and Kyrie over Bron and Davis?
Yep.
Dinwiddie ain't did shit since he got there. That's crazy, ain't it?
Nope,
He's been terrible.
And the addition of Lively to Dallas has been huge.
Well, PJ Washington, I thought he'd do better.
Yeah, but they got enough big bodies to offset. Whatever.
I don't believe Luka don't have the winning formula in the playoffs. Too much Luka. As long as that team is 90% I guess right now it's 70% Luka, 20% Kyrie, and everybody else get theirs when they can. I mean, if you really think about it, you got Tim Hardaway probably averaged about what 15, 16.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I would venture to guess that Tim. I'm going to look right now, but I would venture to guess that Tim Hardaway is the second leading scorer on Dallas. Let's see.
Oh, I think
I was correct. I said 15, 16. I'd be knowing my stat. Well, 16.
Yep.
Yep. Then PJ Washington with 11 and Daniel Gafford also a newcomer with 11. So they have some size. They definitely have size.
Yeah.
But you know me. I don't believe in that James Harden basketball.
No, I hate it.
Bron, the only person I've ever seen do that shit and win.
Yeah.
I hate the way Bron. That's one of the reasons I stopped being a Bron fan because I hate that dominate the ball, then run the clock down to 8 seconds and make a move ass shit. But he went in with that shit. So
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, and I would say that either way it go, Oklahoma gonna have a tough first round matchup.
Oh
In the
yeah, for
West,
sure.
no matter who it is, even the Lakers could be a tough first round matchup, dog.
Yeah, it would.
In the
It would.
playoffs, because Russell been balling too.
He has been. The last month, he's been playing out of his mind.
And
But I think it comes down to, and people clown me because it was the very first game of the season when the Lakers played, and I said the Lakers do not have enough shooting to be factors in the West. And they're like, first game, this is what you did. I'm like, I've seen enough basketball to know they just don't have enough shooting. They
man,
didn't make enough moves throughout the year, and guys didn't get better enough to
if
offset that.
if Dimwitty would play like Dimwitty, they do. He's a scorer and a playmaker. I don't
Yeah,
know what his issue
I've
is
yet to,
fitting in there, but he
I've
definitely.
yet
I
to
thought
see
when
it.
they picked him up, I was like, that is really going to help them.
Yeah, but I've yet to see it.
And I'm gonna tell you something else that people did they think about. I don't think what you call ain't been playing for them, have they? Christian Wood, right? Since he got that baby
Uh,
mama issue.
oh gosh, yeah, yeah. He's with Drea, isn't he? Right? No,
No, not Christian Wood.
I
His
know.
baby mama, the one who keyed his
Yeah,
car up and
yeah,
tried to
exactly.
get him act like
Yeah,
he was trying
he's
to
like legit crazy.
trying to get his son or whatever, and they was put them all on
Legit
tape and
crazy.
shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Christian Wood ain't been there,
yeah.
and Dimwitty, who I thought would be an excellent addition, especially coming off the bench. He's
Hmm.
been nothing but a disappointment. And
Yep.
whatever happened to Gabe Vincent?
He's buried on a bench that he should not be
We
buried on.
paid him.
Yeah,
He's played 5 games. That's
yeah,
crazy.
buried. But
But
like,
Russell actually having a pretty good year. If you look,
no,
yeah, 18
yeah.
points, 6 assists.
He's been turning on for sure.
So
So
that could be a tough matchup. That could be a tough matchup for anybody in that first round. But right now, Denver still. I don't believe in the Clippers. Like I say, Denver and Phoenix, man. If Phoenix healthy, but if Phoenix ain't healthy, it's Denver because Minnesota was probably the only team. I don't know. I don't like none of them teams in the West. G. I think I said
Minnesota losing Cat, and again, I know you call him soft. It
soft.
is a big blow. It's a big blow.
That boy soft boy. I tell you this: if Nas Reed can ball out, I bet you he'd be on the block. If Nas Reed can give them
I love Nasri's
something
game.
close to what he don't rebound. I don't like big men that don't rebound.
Yeah, I love Nasri's game.
Yeah, but you like the fact that he shoot, but
Yeah,
he need
because
does
you
he
need it.
rebound? At least Cat give you 8, give you 9 boys. He had a couple. Cat had a bunch of double digit seasons since Gobert down there. His rebounds went down, but before
Yeah,
Gobert, Cat was 10, 11 boys a game.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at
And
this
I'm looking at
Lakers.
Nas Reed game log, and that boy ain't got a double digit rebound game in here since Cat been gone. G, this is what
I'm
I be
looking.
saying, dog. Like these
I
big, this
mean,
mark is 6'9", damn near 270. And he got one double digit rebound game, and in that game he scored 3 points.
yeah. You want to talk about a guy that's buried? Cam Reddish buried on the Lakers.
He a bum. He's a bum before he
Buried.
got to the Lakers. I
I
want
like his
somebody to
game.
be like, yeah, ready to bush your ass. He a bum on the NBA level. Before y'all even start that shit, I hate when people get mad. So that's a great way. That's a great way to shut the show off. He a bum on the NBA level. The same way, like I told my mans, because Jalen be like, there's no such thing as a bum in the NBA when that whole Kwame Brown shit happened. That's a lie. If you can have elite, if you can have a top, you have to
There's
have a
gotta be.
bottom.
Yeah, you can be very good and still be very
Yeah.
bad.
You can be the worst player in the NBA and still better than 99% of the rest of the human population.
Yep.
But on the NBA, use a bum. Just like you could be great in high school, but in college, use a bum. Yeah, I know you average a triple double in grammar school, but in high school, you was a bum. It happens like that, dog.
Now
I
you're
know you was
cool
a
with my
bum. I know
time.
you was great in high school, but now at LA Fitness, you was a bum. You know what I mean? Like, it go like that. I'm 45 years old. I'm garbage. It's cool. Sometimes you got to know your place. You know what I'm saying? Shit. It's cool, man. So that dude is a bum. I don't know why they gave him another chance. He one of them dudes that always look like he gonna be talented. Once they start saying he gonna be a defensive player, you're on your way out.
Yeah.
Go
The
start
writing,
looking for some
writing's
land
on the wall.
somewhere. Yeah,
The
go to
writing's
the
on
G
the
League.
wall.
Go put up 25 in the G League.
Yeah.
That's what you gonna do for the rest of your life. Isaiah Thomas in the G League now, trying to come back.
Killing people. Killing people. He ain't
And
gonna
it's
sniff
sad
an
to
NBA
say,
roster.
never. It's over with. It's over with. Sad too, because that punk had 2 years of just giving Mars damn near 30.
Yeah, business.
One bad hip for one gave a team one playoff series on that bad hip.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't lose a step when you that small, G. You can't afford it.
Nope.
He needed all the quickness he had because he's so tiny.
Yep.
You lose a step at his height. It's over.
It's a wrap.
It's over. So anyway, all right, Joe, we're gonna get up out here. Great show as always.
Yep.
Until next week, God damn it. I'm probably gonna be loud and wrong about some more shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. I want to see what the Bears do the next 2 weeks because it's going to be interesting.
I know this. They might not be loud, but they gonna be wrong. We about this bitch. Holla.